Fattywithafirearm here. Gonna do a video on my P-38, and I'm gonna more specifically do a video on how to disassemble the slide, because there are some parts in there that do need cleaned after a while, and there are not too many videos on how to clean the slide out and get all the parts out. First, what you want to do, take the magazine out, rack the slide, lock it back, and rotate this toggle right here to the down position. Take it off. On the back here, push the little button, moving the locking block out of the way. Set that to the side, and set the frame to the side. Now, what you need to do is make sure it's on fire or that the safety is in the forward position like this, just for ease. What you do next, you just take a good screwdriver, a good flathead screwdriver. Let me zoom in here for you guys. Take the screwdriver and put the flat end right here against the loaded chamber indicator, and stick it up under the groove on the underside of the dust cover. You see how it goes under there? Keep your hand wrapped around the rear sight, because there are springs and crap that are going to shoot up. And what you do is, as you push and pry, you push the screwdriver this direction and out, just slightly. It comes out that easy. Set it down. Left with the dust cover and a rear sight. Next step is you want to remove this spring right here. This is the automatic firing pin locked spring. Just pull it out, set it to the side, rotate the slide over, and the automatic locking block falls right out. And what it does is it blocks the firing pin from moving forward or back. It's just, safety. So as you pull the trigger, this will get out of the way. Set that off to the side. Next, what you want to do is take the loaded chamber indicator out. And you can see how it moves up and down. There's a spring right here. That's the firing pin spring. So what you do is you just lift this up, get these tabs past, and let it come forward slightly. As you let it ride forward, the spring will depress. Get it up. Pull it out. And you can leave the spring on there, you really don't need to take it off, but just make sure it's seated back here like that. Okay, just make sure the spring is seated just like this, and set that off to the side. Next, what you need to do is take the firing pin out. So what you do is you take your finger, push the rear of the firing pin forward. You see how it moves just a little bit? Push that forward. Flip the gun over, or the slide, and right here, you see that button? Just falls right out. And that is the firing pin locking pin. It just keeps the firing pin in place. Set it off to the side. Now the firing pin just slides right out the back. Rotate it over. Firing pin, spring, and a little loop right here. Next step is to take the extractor out of the gun. The extractor is this piece right here. It just pulls the round out of the chamber. And the way to do this the easiest is come in here. You can see that little button right there. Just take it, push it out towards the front, the outside of the frame in this direction. And you'll see the extractor pops right out. Set that to the side. And what comes out next out of that hole is the extractor's plunger and the extractor's spring. These two can be taken apart, but you don't need to pull them apart. Next step is to take the safety out of the gun. So rotate it halfway between fire and safe and wiggle it out. And it'll come right out. Set that all to the side. And when you're all done, you should be left with all these pieces just laying out. And that's how you disassemble the slide on a P-38 or a P-1. You can clean all the internals in here, you just clean it up. Now to reassemble the slide. Again, first what you do is you take the safety, just set it in the spot. And you got a little bearing that's right here. You just push that in a little bit. Safety falls into place. Safety's working really good. What you take next is the extractor spring and plunger. Just set it down inside its little hole right there. You can see how it just slides right in. And there's a little hole in there. And to put the extractor back in, what you want to do is put set it at an angle like this. Push it back and push it around. And it'll fall right into place. You have to use a little force. It's not going to go in easily. It shouldn't. So you do have to use a little force to get that thing back in. Next, what you do is you want to put the firing pin back into place. So take the firing pin spring with the loop facing the rear of the slide and on the upside. So you set it in just like that. You can see how that sits in there? And get it to focus right there. You can see how it rides in there? What you do next is you take your firing pin, and you'll notice on the firing pin you got grooves on one side of the flat piece and it's flat on the other. The grooves go down. So you just set that through the back of the gun, through the back of the slide, wiggle it in, make sure everything's all lined up, and there it goes. What you can do now is take your firing pin lock pin, this whole thing right here, a little button, and just set it in the hole. As you're pushing this firing pin forward slightly, and it should go right in. What you want to do next is put the loaded chamber indicator back in. It can be a little difficult. I like to, take it out, from the front and put it in from the back like this. Run it forward and get it to go in this hole. Just run it up like that. Once you get it to here, let me zoom in for you guys. And it ain't focusing for me. Piece of crap. Camera. Right here, there's a little cutout. You want the spring to ride in there. Just like this. And as you push the firing pin, the loaded chamber indicator back to where it clears here. Perfect. Next step, put your automatic firing pin lock, just set it down in the hole in its correct orientation. Take the spring for it and just set it right in its hole. And then next what you want to do is take your rear sight, and you can see on the rear sight that it has grooves on one side. It has a hole and grooves on one side but not the other. This side is the side that faces the front. So you can just set it on there and hold it down. Then you take your dust cover, and the round end goes into that hole in the rear sight. With a rearward and downward force, you push it back into place. Everything works good. Safety functions. Let's put it all back together. Works. Make sure the decocker works. Hammer fell. Perfect. And that's how you disassemble the slide of a P-38 or P-1. It's that simple. And anybody can do it. You just have to be willing to do it. It's not that hard. But if you like the video, like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more World War II pistol videos and videos of pistols that are even older. And maybe a few rifles and shotguns, who knows. But this is Fatty with a Firearm. Thanks for watching.